talking about, hey, I have something to show you. You got a
Okay.
moment? All
Yeah.
right. So
No,
hang tight.
no, I gotta go. No,
Don't.
I'm all
Not yet.
yours.
Not yet. This is
I'm all
something,
yours.
this is
I'm all
specifically
yours. I'm
for
all
you.
yours. I
All right.
cherish these meetings. This is
Yeah, sure you do, man.
Our first movie tells the story of a friendship behind prison walls that spans more than 20 years. It's called The Shawshank Redemption, and Shawshank is the name of a prison where a banker, played by Tim Robbins, receives a double life sentence for the murder of his wife and her lover.
I'm Andy Dufresne.
Wife-killing banker. Why'd you do it?
I didn't, since you asked.
You gonna fit right in.
That's Morgan Freeman as the other prisoner there. He's a fixer who can supply almost anything behind bars.
I understand you're a man that knows how to get things.
Yeah, I'm known to locate certain things from time to time.
He can supply anything, that is, except hope. Oddly enough, that's the one thing Robbins seems to have enough of.
You need it so you don't forget.
Forget.
Forget that there are places in the world that aren't made out of stone, that there's something inside that they can't get to, that they can't touch.
One of the underlying themes of the movie is institutionalization, the process by which prisoners become so dependent on prison routine that life in the real world becomes a mirage or a threat.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
The Shawshank Redemption was based on a story by Stephen King, but it's not a horror story unless, of course, you define horror as spending life in prison for a crime you claim you didn't commit. It's a very closely observed portrait of these two men, played by Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, as they do time together and accommodate themselves to the system. But all the time there's a hidden story going on, which we sort of suspect and sort of don't, and which leads to the redemption that's hinted at in the title. This is a wonderfully well-acted film, and it really got me involved.
Well, I think I like this picture even more than you. I think it's one of the year's best films, and the picture that it reminds me of the most, it should be really obvious, is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
No,
this is a picture that this is a prison picture to the extent that that's a hospital picture. They're both the same thing. People caught up in the system, people dealing with mental imprisonment, physical imprisonment, how to get released from both. The look of this picture is magnificent. The span of years is great. The relationship between these two characters, everything works. It's a first directing job by a guy, I think I can pronounce his name, Frank Darabont. And he does a really good job here.
Well, I agree with you. I think it's an interesting film and a very moving film. And the neat thing is, it's very rare that we see a friendship that develops slowly over decades.
I love that.
Until at the end, when we get to the payoff of the film, we understand exactly what has happened. And that ending in a more trivial film might have seemed more like a formula, but in this film, it really seems like an emotional payoff.
You think you've seen, again, the notion that it's a prison picture, that might turn some people off. That isn't what this film is all about. That's just the location of it. Good writing all the way through.
It's about courage, it's about heart and friendship.
I think it's a wonderful picture.
Well, I'm in complete agreement. What did you think looking at that?
Well, it was a big part of my life. I just looking at the scenes. I spent 151 days in one hotel room in Mansfield, Ohio that summer.
Yeah.
You work on projects like, for instance, I talked about Bushwhacked. When we worked on Bushwhacked, we said, I don't know what this is going to do. But when you then later on you read the Shawshank Redemption script and you say, I just want to hold my end up. I just want to hold my end up. You've got Roger Deakins for the DP. You've got
brilliant.
You've got these two actors who are known. They've been around. They're known, and you just want to make sure that you hold your end up. For me, and my department, I was a production supervisor and location manager. The two hardest locations we had to find was the tree and the grocery store. And I'll send you something. There's a picture of us on a scout for the tree with Frank and I standing face to face, Roger in the background and our producer in the background. And Frank is asking me, Did you find it? Have you found the tree? This went on just about the whole time, and we probably found it maybe 2 or 3 weeks before we shot. And I'm said, Frank, we're looking, we're going to find it. This is that conversation. He and I, on the 30th anniversary last year, reenacted that picture of us standing face to face with each other. I'll send you both of those pictures. And then we had another picture of us laughing together at the end. But we did find the tree, and we wound up one day when I was, my assistant and I were going for a meeting, and we left our office and we went a route we hadn't gone before, and the store wound up being 2 blocks from our office all this time. And we had looked at little towns all over the place and couldn't find the store. And 2 blocks from our office was the store that they go to when they get out of prison. He and what's the other character that go to the store and work. So it's how it works. It's how it happens.
It's so good to see these guys given the respect this film deserves. As I said, Darabont was my neighbor on the lot. His office was
Right.
right next to mine, but I was unaware. Very friendly guy. I was unaware this was his first movie he directed.
First feature film. I think he had done some shorts or something like that before, but yeah. But I mean,
Wow.
and the whole thing about him, because that Rob Reiner's company produced the Castle Rock, and Rob wanted to direct it, and he said no, and he fought and held on to it, and then they had other suggestions for people, in terms of roles and stuff like that, but he held his own and he kept it, and he was it was great. And I could go to dailies. I went to dailies once, and it was the dailies of the scene where he goes into the warden's he goes into the office and he puts the record on on, and I saw those dailies and it was so beautiful. I said, I don't want to see any more dailies. I just want to see the movie. That's all I want to do, is I want to see the movie. And it was Deakins is just a genius.
Andy, do you hear that? Andy, let me out. Andy? Andy?
I have no idea to this day what those two Italian ladies were singing about. Truth is, I don't want to know. Some things are best left unsaid. I like to think they were singing about something so beautiful it can't be expressed in words, and makes your heart ache because of it. I tell you, those voices soared, higher and farther than anybody in a great place dares to dream. It was like some beautiful bird flapped into our drab little cage and made those walls dissolve away. And for the briefest of moments, every last man at Shawshank felt free. It pissed the warden off something awful.
Open the door. Open it up! Dufresne, open this door! Turn that off! I am warning you, Dufresne, turn that off! Dufresne! You're mine now.
Andy got 2 weeks in the hole for that little stunt.
On your feet.
Yeah, incredible talent. And let's talk about the folklore around the movie for a bit.
Yeah.
Now, as you know, you have been a partner with us in the past with some of our charity work, including Combat Radio's Christmas Carol for a Cure. And the reason I point this out is it featured everyone's favorite prison guard, Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
And I think in addition to this year, it features everyone's favorite cell block villain, Mark Rolston, who was also in Aliens as PFC Drake and Lethal Weapon. They all have great credentials, but they have told me about the movie from time to time, and as have you. And one of the bits of trivia I love, and I should also point out, you did another documentary about the effects of the Shawshank production on the town of Mansfield.
Yes.
And one of the things that one of the production guys involved said was, the former warden of the prison, when it was open, is in the movie as a prisoner.
Yeah.
Was that you who told me that? He's on the bus going in.
But I didn't tell you that. But yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you interact with, that must have been a surreal moment. Like when you have the warden in well, I don't know if he's on the bus. He's not in his prison garb yet, but it must have been one of those moments,
Well, the thing is, I really didn't interact with him. My assistant, Scott Staller, did that. You see, the thing was when that reformatory closed down, they built a new one a quarter of a mile away. So we had an active reformatory a quarter of a mile away. And we had to interact with them because we closed the road down. And I remember one day, we had another take, and we were holding the commissary bus up, the truck up to feed the person said, okay, guys, we're going to shut you down completely if you don't let that truck get through. It was that kind of thing. But we worked with them, and it was great. But yeah, we had the cooperation that we had with that, because it was still part of the prison system, the building, even though they were about to tear it down before we got there. And then once we got there and did the film, they realized that, maybe we've got something here, but we've got to tear down portions of it because it was falling apart. The roof scene, let's just talk about the roof scene where they're tarring the roof. We had to reinforce that so we could put a crew and cast up on there. We had to get a structural engineer in there to look at that, to reinforce it so that we could get a crew and a cast up there on that roof to shoot that scene where they're tarring the roof. Yeah. So, yeah.
So we both worked with Clancy Brown in different capacities. You worked with him on this legendary project where he's the meanest guy in the movie.
Right.
I worked with him when he was in a great mood on a Combat Radio Christmas Carol, and he's the most lovable guy backstage. How was he to work with? And is he one of those actors that has to kind of click into gear and be some version of what he's playing, or is he very laid back about it? And
you see, I don't get much of that. I don't get much of that as because I'm always ahead and behind.
That's true.
So,
you are.
While speaking of that roof scene, when they shot that, I was in St. Croix setting up the shoot down there that we were going to do for the end of the film. And that scene is, my heart sinks on that scene because I had forgot to order the police. It looks, you see, on that roof, you look out over the town of Mansfield, which is current day 1993. And I forgot, for traffic control, no car would go by, which was non-period, right? So the producers, David Lester and them, when I got back, says, I know we talked about this, Kakai, but you didn't know, and every time I see that scene, I'm just still looking at outside.
Off years ago, figured him for dead anyway. So anyway, this lawyer fella says to me, your brother died a rich man, oil wells and shit, close to $1 million.
$1 million?
Yeah, fucking incredible how lucky some assholes get.
Jeez Louise, you gonna see any of that?
35,000. That's what he left me.
Dollars?
Yep.
Holy shit, that's great. That's like winning the sweepstakes. Isn't it?
Dumb shit, what do you think the government's gonna do to me? Take a big wet bite out of my ass is what?
Poor Barry. Terrible fucking luck, huh?
Crying shame. Some people really got it awful. Andy, you nuts. Keep your eyes on your mouth, man. Andy.
Well, all right, you're gonna pay some taxes, but you'll still end up with...
Oh, yeah. Maybe enough to buy a new car, and then what? I gotta pay tax on the car. Repair, maintenance, goddamn kids pestering you to take them for a ride all the time. Then at the end of the year, you figure the tax wrong, you gotta pay them out of your own pocket. I tell you, Uncle Sam, he puts his hand in your shirt and squeezes your tit till it's purple. The man never gets a break, that's the truth. You said rich kid himself killed.
Keep talking. No.
Some brother. Shit.
Hey!
Mr. Hadley, do you trust your wife?
Oh, that's funny. You're gonna look funnier sucking my dick with no teeth.
What I mean is, do you think she'd go behind your back, try to hamstring you?
That's it. Step aside, Mert. This fucker's having himself an accident.
You don't push him off the roof. Because if you do trust her, there's no reason you can't keep that 35,000.
What did you say?
35,000.
35,000?
All of it.
All of it?
Every penny.
You better start making sense.
If you want to keep all that money, give it to your wife. The IRS allows a one-time only gift to your spouse for up to $60,000.
Bullshit. Tax-free?
Tax-free. IRS can't touch 1 cent.
You're that smart banker what killed his wife, aren't you? Why should I believe a smart banker like you? So I can end up in here with you?
It's perfectly legal. Go ask the IRS. They'll say the same thing. Actually, I feel stupid telling you this. I'm sure you would have investigated the matter yourself.
Yeah, fucking A. I don't need no smart wife-killing banker to tell me where the bear's shitting the buckwheat.
Of course not. But you do need someone to set up the tax-free gift for you. And that'll cost you. A lawyer, for example.
Bunch of ball-washing bastards.
Right. I suppose I could set it up for you. That would save you some money. You get the forms, I'll prepare them for you. Nearly free of charge. I'd only ask 3 beers apiece for each of my co-workers.
Co-workers, get him. That's rich, ain't it?
I think a man working outdoors feels more like a man if you can have a bottle of suds. It's only my opinion. Sir.
What are you Jimmy staring at? Back to work!
Let's go, work!
And that's how it came to pass that on the second to last day of the job, the convict crew that tarred the plate factory roof in the spring of '49 wound up sitting in a row at 10 o'clock in the morning, drinking icy cold Bohemia-style beer, courtesy of the hardest screw that ever walked a turn at Shawshank State Prison.
Drink up while it's cold, ladies.
The colossal prick even managed to sound magnanimous. We sat and drank with the sun on our shoulders and felt like free men. Hell, we could have been tarring the roof of one of our own houses. We were the lords of all creation. As for Andy, he spent that break hunkered in the shade, a strange little smile on his face.
So there's certain scenes you know where you were or you weren't when a scene was shot. And that's when I look at that scene and what I think about it. So how did I F up on this particular location, Yeah.
Yeah, nobody notices it, but they will now. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Well, it's a trivia. It's a point of trivia,
Yeah. Didn't you tell me once when we were having a conversation prior to this that the end in St. Croix was a studio note? What was it you that said that the script originally, the story doesn't end there. It ends with him getting on the bus. But somebody on the studio side, or maybe the Castle Rock side,
Maybe
So,
it didn't get to me because the beach was in what I had. Finding the beach was always in for me.
it's interesting because like I was on the feature development side at Warner Brothers, so I witnessed a lot of cannibalizing of great scripts where they got kind of needled down to nothing,
Right.
to put it politely. But it was that resonated with me because I said, "Oh, there it is. There's one of the moments where a studio executive can make a contribution that actually improves the film. That's the one Smithsonian level, element we can point to where, hey, your job actually is justified today."
Yeah.
Rarity. So looking back on this to watch these guys look at this movie and clearly they loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. It may have been the best film that year. So that's what Siskel said. And now, I have a hard time from memory remembering what it might have been up against if you want to put some faux competition in place. But man, it's great.
It was up against Forrest Gump, maybe?
Yeah, that Warner Brothers passed on that. But I honestly I got to tell you, this is before I got to Warner Brothers. When I read that script, because we'd go in the story department, I read Forrest Gump and go, could be interesting, but not the movie you would expect Zemeckis to get out of it. And that's
right.
The magic of the filmmakers. But I have to say, man, it is to this day one of the best films ever made. And to some people, it is the only film ever made. I got a friend, director Michael Lang, who watches it once a week.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. Director of Criminal Minds, Bones. He watches it. It is to him the finest movie ever made.
Wow.
Hi there, everybody. Voice actor Roger Craig Smith here to talk to you about NMOSD. It can paralyze you, it can blind you, it can even kill you in a matter of minutes, but we are very close to a cure. And with that cure could come a cure for cancer. So please go to the Guthrie Jackson Foundation and donate today. Appreciate it.